Hey, once again, Mike Lapatino here. Time for Storytime with Lappy. We already talked about how that name came about, so no need to go over it again. And as I mentioned last time, and as we open up the storybook here, we're going to go to my friends in the Marshall Tucker Band. I've known Doug Gray for over 30 years now, about 30 years. And the way we met and became very good friends when the Oakdale, prior to 1995, it was the Theater in the Round. A lot of people who were around then remember the theater. And they used to have a whole bunch of great concerts, all sorts of concerts. But what was really big when I got to PLR in '86, and it was Southern Rock. Southern Rock has always been really big for PLR in the '80s and the '90s, in the '70s as well. And no one was bigger than Marshall Tucker Band. They were huge, great band. And the Oakdale used to do these shows in the round that would have three Southern rock groups. Marshall Tucker used to headline it. They would have 38 Special, sometimes would have the Outlaws, sometimes all three. There was a show where they had John K. Steppenwolf open up. I remember John K. Steppenwolf, Molly Hatchet, and Marshall Tucker. So someone called and said, would you like to interview Doug Gray? And as a kid growing up in high school, that's all me and my brother ever listened to. There was the disco crowd, and then there was the flannel shirts, long-haired, and that was me. Listening to the Southern Rock, Skinner, Allman Brothers, Marshall Tucker, the list goes on, Blackfoot. So I said, yeah, absolutely, because he sang one of my favorite songs that me and my brother always used to drink to, and This Old Cowboy, when at the end of the night we'd be listening to This Old Cowboy, half in a bag, stopping at the diner for eggs, and it was always a bonding thing that we still have to this day, my older brother Fred. So when I got the opportunity to interview Doug, I said, oh man, this is awesome. I know all about the band, everything, Back in the day, being a disc jockey in the 70s, the way you learned about music was you read album jackets. When the advent of CDs came around, the type got so small you didn't read it. But not only were the double albums good for rolling joints, because you can get rid of the seeds that way, but they had a lot of information about the band. I would read it all. So I knew everything about the band, every band member, where they're from, and so I got Doug on the phone. He could tell my excitement that I was truly a fan, and he definitely appreciated it. And if anybody who knows Doug, he knows what a sweet guy he is. He's great to everybody. So we're talking on the phone, and he's at the Oakdale. I'm talking, and we're chatting and stuff. And I was relatively new at PLR, so the equipment was still a little new to me. And then I said, okay, we'll be right back with Doug Gray, Marshall Tucker Band, after these words. And went into the commercial break. I said, hey, so Doug, we started to talk. We started to talk about he and Jerry Eubanks, the sax player, used to always room together on the road. And he was talking about the shenanigans that these guys would be up to and picking up women at the shows and bringing them back to the hotel room. And sometimes they would bring back one for two. And as it turns out, this woman they brought back wasn't a woman. she had become one, and they were talking about there was only, and I hope this is not going to get gross, but one hole. All right, you know where it goes from here. The whole time we're talking about this, it was on the air underneath the commercials that were playing. And the band was in another room listening to the interview, because neither Doug or I knew this was happening. They were in hysterics, because here we're talking about sescapades with the Marshall Tucker Band, on the road, and everyone who was listening to the radio can hear it underneath the commercials that were running. We go back on the air, and I say, hey, we're back with Doug Gray, like nothing happened at all. Again, this is 1986, so no cell phones, no internet, there was none of that. So there was no, communication was not what it is today. So when I got to the Oakdale, because they wanted me to intro the band, Doug immediately had security get me and bring me right back to the dressing room. And I'm going, what the hell's going on? He comes in and he embraces me like he hasn't seen me in a million years. And he laughed, and I'm telling you, we just, from that night on, we became fast friends, and to this very day, we still talk to each other at least a couple times a year. And when they're in town, I go to see them. But that was my introduction to one of my favorite band idols as a kid, the Marshall Tucker Band, and then becoming fast friends with Doug, especially, and the rest of the band was just a treat.